Welcome to the Fox 17 Rockin' Review. My very talented guest today, Andrea Zonn and Thomm Jutz, and that was just beautiful. You guys, it's so seamless. I appreciate you guys coming on to talk about the new album, which this is your second solo album.
It is.
And it's called Rise. And so what can you tell me about the great songs on here?
Well, I'll let you say they're great, because they're all originals. And I wrote a lot of them with Thomm Jutz. We had a lot of great writers like Bill Lloyd and Fred Knobloch, Kim Ritchie, John Coleman. There were some really terrific co-writers.
And you had a few popular guests.
A few popular guests. I pulled in James Taylor and Vince Gill and Kev Moe and Trace Adkins. Had a great rhythm section.
All of which you've toured with. You also had Sam Bush on here.
Sam Bush and Jerry Douglas.
Just
Jim
amazing.
Oblon, who works with Paul Simon.
Right.
And then I had Steve Gadd and Willie Weeks in the rhythm section.
It sounds incredible.
Tom played on it, and Brian Sutton. And
just amazing.
It's a pretty good cast.
Yeah, it really is. And you, which, it's so funny. I was telling the story earlier when we were off camera to where, when they reached out to me going, hey, we've got this new album and we want you to cover this. And then they said, she toured with James Taylor. I'm like, that's where I know her from. Because obviously I've attended more than a few James Taylor concerts, and you're up there and you just sound incredible.
Oh, thanks.
But it's so nice to see you. You took a little hiatus from the first album.
I did.
10 or 12 years. And,
yes.
But what a great new album you've come out with.
Thanks.
I mean, the tracks to me also, and I think a lot of times the music industry tries to put you in a niche. And,
yes.
And with your bluegrass background, but then you've played every style of music,
right.
Classically trained and everything.
Right. I think that's one of the nice things about being on an indie label like Compass, is that you really aren't, they don't ask you to be in a box, which is nice, because I love all kinds of things. I think most of our record collections are probably a little broader than
and that's what I like about the album too. It's kind of like your iPod on shuffle, to where it's like with Rise, more of a New Orleans style funeral song.
Yep.
And then you've got other tracks on here that sound bluegrass. You've got some that sound bluesy. So you've really sort of got it all.
It's sort of all over the place.
All of your musical genres within 10 songs.
Yep. And hopefully the glue is that the rhythm section stays the same, and we got a little glue in there too.
It sounds
so it doesn't
great.
Sound like...
Now this album comes out September 25th.
It does.
And so where can people find the album at for sale?
They can find it. Amazon's got it, and iTunes has it. It's for sale on my website at andreazonn.com. It's for sale at compassrecords.com.
Very nice. Now let's also talk about you've got a residency coming up here in Nashville.
I do.
And where's that at?
That's at the Station Inn.
Very nice.
Wonderful Station Inn, which I've got a long history with. And we've got a couple more nights on Tuesday, September 29th, and also October 6th. And the thing about the residency, we've got a great band with Thomm Jutz and John Coleman. Billy Thomas is playing drums, and my brother Brian's playing bass.
Wow.
But every week we have different super secret special guests.
So it's like your version of the Taylor Swift thing.
Yes, exactly.
I get that. So
me and Taylor are a lot alike. I'm going to just tell you.
There's a lot of parallels
here.
here.
Yes. I asked your cameraman to make me skinny in 25. She's already naturally skinny in 25, but we'll go with it.
Look at the talent you have, though. I'm saying. Come on, who else can bring in that host of different guests on your album, too?
It was a very fortunate moment, yeah.
And plus, with your tour, you've been going to some interesting places and fairs, I understand.
Yes, well, I've been touring still with James and with Vince Gill, and this last weekend, we actually, with Vince, we were in Wayne County, Ohio at the
That is
Wayne
the Mecca
County Fair.
of music.
It was awesome. No, it's like so much fun to go back to those little county fairs.
When they bring out the tractors and bring the PA system.
That's actually, the stage was actually a big trailer and was pulled in front of the grandstand on a big tractor, and they had the speaker stacks hoisted up on tractor cranes, It's like,
but I'll bet you it was a sold out crowd too, and they loved you.
It was a sold out crowd, and it was terrific. Yeah.
So in between touring with James Taylor, who is obviously on tour, and with Vince, and your own solo projects.
Yeah.
So a lot of family time is what you're saying.
A lot of family time. I have a very patient child. Yes.
Well, I think he's going to be happy with your hair this
Oh,
time.
thank you. Last time I got a good commentary. He was like, Mommy, did you even remember to brush your hair this morning? Thanks.
Kids are
very
so
much.
honest. You got to
They're
love that about them.
So honest.
You know?
Brutally honest.
Well, I'll tell you what, the album sounds great. I just think that,
Thanks.
you know, the songwriting and everything you've done with this are just so incredible. A lot of depth. And I think, you know, it's nice to hear that kind of songwriting coming out now because, you know, a lot of the
Thanks.
popular music that you hear on the airwaves, unfortunately, is kind of has a beat to it.
Well,
you know what I mean?
that's why Baskin Robbins makes 31 flavors, as they say. It's
Right.
a little something for everyone. But I felt like it was time to dig in and to really kind of examine some moments of life, you know. It's just really take a look at how we're living and the choices we make and how we rise is all about how we prevail over adversity.
Right.
I mean, so that stuff is really real to me, and I
Totally.
wanted to capture
And I think
it
it's
in
going to come
song.
across to the listeners also. Be sure and check out Andrea Zonn and pick up a copy of Rise on the 25th when it comes out. And we'll have to come see you at the Station Inn. And who knows who the guests might be.
Bring your axe.
We'll do it.
Shh, bring your axe.
And thank you for watching the Fox 17 Rock and Review.